Hello, and welcome to episode 48 of Cutscene Combos. This week, we will be discussing who DC's Jesus is. We'll be doing a review of 2022's content. We'll be doing a review of the news in 2022, as well as ranking our favourite content from 2022, before we do a preview of 2023, and then look at what we expect from that content. We have our friends of the podcast, Josh.
Hello.
And Luke is also joining us via audio only.
Good evening.
But before all of that, Hori, how was your week?
Oh, why are we singling just me out here?
See how it is.
That's how we've done every podcast for like 30
I feel
episodes.
you've missed an opportunity there to go, Hori, how was your year? But
I have.
That's
But
a
we
bad
do
host.
everything in one take over here.
I mean, the last week's been Christmas, so I've done next to no work and eaten twice my body weight and drunk plenty and spent time with family, which has been nice.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's Christmas. I've done fuck all other than overeat, overdrink, and watch bad TV. But yeah, that's been my week.
Josh, how was your week been?
Same, I've eaten way too much food. I can barely move now. But no, just full of board games, food, TV, Switch games.
A bit of
Not
Oculus Rift.
installed anything else. Oh yeah, we've got the old MetaQuest for
That was it.
MetaQuest 2 for Christmas, and been playing some of that. Been playing some Resident Evil, which I had to put down because I was getting really bad motion sickness.
Oh no.
I'm sure Loki was thankful.
I can't even hack horror games when I'm like sat at a desk set up playing them. I dread to think what
The
it's
jump
like
scares were
with VR.
nuts. I'm really early in. And enjoying that. Need to download a few more games, but yeah, nice chilled out week. I'm not back at work till next week, so just chilling out really.
Awesome. Luke, how was your week?
Yeah, pretty good. Much the same. I have done barely nothing besides play video games and eat food. So probably about the same as the rest of the year for me, actually.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Solid.
Awesome.
Connor,
so-
how was yours?
I mean, it was Christmas. I have a bit of a like me and my partner have been together for like nearly 10 years now, so Christmas has kind of evolved with that. So as a result, like Christmas Eve is presents between my family and her family. Then Christmas Day is just us at our respective households. Boxing Day we all come back together for drinks and partying. Then what's it, the 27th, my brother who lives a bit further away came to visit. And just be chilling. I'm not back to work till the new year either. But yeah, it's just nice and chill. Same as all of you. Ate too much, drunk too much, continuing to drink too much. And just gonna have a very happy new year, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So as both of you will know, as previous guests on the podcast, we do our weekly character profiles. The last couple of weeks we've been alternating Jesus and Santa, and it is once again Jesus's turn.
As you do.
As you do. Just what else is there to talk about in December? It's Jesus and Santa month. I'll be honest, DC's Jesus is a lot less exciting than DC's Santa was. So Jesus of Nazareth, also known as Jesus Christ, first appeared in Picture Stories from the Bible New Testament #1 in November 1944.
Creative title there, DC.
Yeah, very similar to Jesus' first appearance in Marvel. It was it was Bible comics so that Christian mums would stop trying to ruin these companies. There is a slight difference in the retelling of Jesus's birth.
Bold
So
move.
when Jesus was born, the wrath of God was cast into limbo because vengeance and forgiveness couldn't be on earth at the same time. So basically, that's their way of going Old Testament God gone. For those of you who know Old Testament God, he a dog. I know I'm going to regret that. Anyway, when Jesus died on the cross, the wrath of God managed to escape from limbo and decided to start punishing humanity for Jesus' death until the Archangel Michael stopped him. After that, it's basically identical. The Holy Grail does exist in DC continuity. He's been used a number of times in Sword of Azrael comics, as he's a religious man who believes he's using Jesus's true teachings, and not Jesus' teachings as they have been watered down by the church. I mean, we've all played the Batman Arkham games here, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yes.
Azrael's in them games. He
Oh,
tries
yeah.
to take over from Batman. He's got his religious stuff on. He was used in a couple of things. I don't know if it was Jesus, or like his psychosis creating a Jesus character there for him to kind of make him believe what he was doing is right. But as far as Jesus goes in DC, that's about it. There's not a whole lot to him. They definitely weren't brave enough, like Marvel, to use him for other things later down the line.
Well, that sums up DC though, doesn't
Yes, it does. But with it being New Year, we decided there's no better way to celebrate the end of the year than look back on what we've done this year.
Yeah,
It's been a busy year.
it has.
We've done a lot with this podcast in the last year. But I think for the most part it's all been good. Although some people disagree. But like you've all said it as I've sent you over the notes, there's a lot of stuff on here that feels like forever ago. So I'm just going
Yeah,
to quickly go down and list all the content, and we can just have a talk about the content overall this year, as well as maybe people can bring up some of their own things that didn't make it to the list that they enjoyed. So we started off the year. This isn't all in chronological order, by the
I
way.
was gonna say.
Most of it is, but a lot of it isn't. We kicked off the year with The Batman, which feels like forever ago.
Yeah,
We also had Morbius.
still haven't seen
Less
it.
said about that, the better, I think. Then Marvel MCU kicked into gear with Doctor Strange, Thor: Love and Thunder. We had DC League of Super Pets. We had the Disney Plus special Werewolf by Night. We had Black Adam, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. We've recently had Avatar: Way of the Water, or Way of Water, sorry.
Still need to see it.
But then we also had some really good TV shows: Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. We had the Guardians Christmas special, Rings of Power, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Andor, Tales of the Jedi, Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners, and The Boys Season 3.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, and we all know how much Horry loves The Boys.
That's outrageous.
I haven't watched any of the boys.
Harry does love The Boys, that's true.
Josh, Connor's asked me all year to watch it, and I still haven't
I've
watched
asked you when I was last on the podcast, and
Yeah.
when was that, Ori?
like
6 months
30
ago.
episodes ago, yeah.
Maybe
But
2023.
overall,
You're a bad friend,
we've,
Harry.
we've had a
Whoa. Just outrageous statement.
overall we've had a stacked year of content. Is there anything on that list that you think
Needs to be
greatly
forgotten.
underperforms the rest?
Greatly outperforms the rest.
Outperforms.
Outperforms or underperforms?
Well, underperforms Morbius. Need I say more?
No one saw that one coming today.
Is it underperforming if no one expected anything?
Yeah,
To
true.
this
That's
day,
a fair argument.
The only good thing Morbius gave us was the mob in time meme. And I think that says a lot.
No, I
So,
can back it. I can back it.
You can argue it's a
overperformed.
job then if it gave us memes.
As a rogue shout out for overperform, I think Edge Runners overperformed.
I've still not seen it.
I
That
haven't
show
seen it
was
either.
such
It
a
is very
success.
good.
It took
I have heard
Cyberpunk,
many
which
good
was
things.
seen as a dead game, to CD Projekt Red most concurrently played game of all time, beating the peak of Witcher 3.
I can also vouch for Arcane, which I don't
Yeah.
think made the list.
Did Arcane come out this year?
I think so.
God.
Like early this year, like early. Oh, that is a good. See, that was the thing when I was trying to think of my top things of the
Arcane's
year.
2021.
First episode,
2021.
November 6th, 2021. Someone
So it's
didn't do their
end.
research.
Oh.
Oh, we're coming
Three.
Detention
That's
for
the thing.
Josh.
A lot of the stuff I was doing, I couldn't remember if it actually came out this year or last year. You've done me there.
I think Edge Runners for me is a big shout for overperform, as well as Andor.
I was gonna say Andor probably.
Yeah, I think Andor has to be the one that overperformed, considering I didn't watch a lot of these, but I don't even know if that overperformed. I thought that would do well, but I guess
I
But
feel.
did you not think it was
not as elite
better?
as it was.
I'm trying
I
to
think it
think.
Yeah, no,
reviewed better than anyone expected it to.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
Um,
probably Andor
it,
then for
it,
me.
I feel like it's one of them few times where the Star Wars toxic portion were being silenced by the people who enjoyed the show, which is very rare.
I have another underperformed.
Go on.
Oh, here we go.
Book of Boba Fett.
I would agree with that.
I
Yeah.
feel it became Mando season
Yeah,
2.5.
it literally did. Yeah,
It became
Well,
Mando
I mean,
season 2.5 and that pulled away
but
from it
that's
being Boba Fett.
why I enjoyed it. I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like,
I
it
know what you mean.
underperformed being a Boba Fett story.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people as well got a different Boba Fett to the Boba Fett they wanted, and that
Yeah.
probably didn't help it. Like, it's added a depth to his character, but I think a lot of older fans especially probably wanted very man
Bounty
of few
Hunter.
words,
well, yeah, I
just
mean, that's
wrecking
why I
shit.
didn't finish it. I couldn't get through the first 3 episodes. I was dozing off trying to watch it.
You should probably finish it.
Yeah, I do need to go back and finish it because we're going to be covering Mandalorian season 3 in the new
Yeah,
year.
and you'll want Mandalorian season 2.5 for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that shows a big issue with it that, like, I mean, I consume content like no one. I'll sit here while playing a video game with 2 videos on and not even care, just give me all of the information, it doesn't bother me. But I couldn't even get through watching Boba Fett with like trying to give it my full attention. Which I think is an issue. But Andor on the other side, I'd try and watch it while playing the game and I'd end up pausing my game to give it my full attention. And I think that shows a big difference in quality between some of the projects this year.
Yeah, I think Boba Fett is just a big disconnect between what they did and what people expected of him.
Agreed. Onto the Marvel shows, the trifecta of Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk. Overall, I think everyone should have had at least one show they enjoyed this year.
Agreed.
Yeah, I did.
I don't think anyone got 3 shows they fully enjoyed.
Not even you, Connor.
I mean, I'm different.
I'm probably
and I mean that in the sense I tend to enjoy most things. I either enjoy it or loathe it completely. And I mean they were all okay. There was nothing bad about any of them in my opinion. I think a lot of the anger towards some of the shows was more about the main character and their gender and religion than it was about any quality issues with the show. I got what I wanted out of all the shows. Out of Moon Knight, I got a really compelling story that was pretty violent. I mean, I said I had some issues with the show, like the pacing.
That was Disney Plus all year, to be honest.
Yeah, Ms. Marvel gave me a fresh take of a character. I had my issues with Ms. Marvel as well, with her power set not being as we'd hoped. But overall, I thought it was fun and it felt like what a teen superhero should feel like. And it also looked at the themes of Muslim life while being respectful, which a lot of people didn't like, but weirdos. And She-Hulk was genuinely funny. Some people go, no, it wasn't, but it was. It just was. It was funny. It made me laugh.
Done its job then, on it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what you've got to kind of do when you look at these projects. Do they do their job?
Yeah, I mean,
I would say as a casual fan, compared to you two, I enjoyed all 3. I had knowing nothing about all 3 of the characters. Probably
I
issues with
think
it, like I said, but
the only downside from all of these different shows is for the casual fan struggling to keep up with it all.
Yeah, there was a big time commitment this year to being a nerd.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I was probably lost for like 2/3 of Moon Knight. It was good, but yeah, I think if you don't know who he is, it's a
it also
mind
I feel that.
ties on because like my sister at Christmas was saying her and her husband went to see Doctor Strange obviously at the start of the year,
Mhm.
My sister hadn't seen WandaVision, so
I hadn't, to be fair.
she had no clue why Wanda was now Scarlet Witch.
Why was she so batshit
Yeah, like
crazy?
what like none of that made any sense because there's now this commitment to watch the Disney
Yeah.
Plus stuff.
To be fair,
And
I didn't
that
watch it, but I knew what happened.
Yeah, and I think that has been addressed with Marvel, showing that they're trying to move away and bring down the amount of TV shows and replace TV shows with like the specials, like
Mm.
the Guardians Christmas special and Werewolf by Night, which instead isn't a full length movie; it's more 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Some
and
of the
it's not
things
like
that were
8
supposed to
episodes.
be some of the things that were supposed to be TV shows have been changed into films, like
Mhm.
Armor Wars. But I mean, there's no perfect solution. I think with Disney Plus still being an infant in the streaming space.
Here's a question.
Well,
Out of the things this year, which did the biggest fan service?
Kenobi.
That's a shout.
But I don't care that it fan serviced because it was still good.
Oh no,
Doctor
yeah,
Strange fan serviced harder.
I wouldn't know.
I personally,
John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic has got to be some of the biggest fan service to ever fan service.
yeah, but I think that Kenobi with what the one scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin / Vader and getting that whole scene of you didn't kill Anakin, I did. That entire scene is bigger fan service than John Krasinski is.
I think anything where you bring back old characters is always going to get the biggest crowd pop, and I mean that's exactly what happened with Obi-Wan. So
The thing is, Kenobi, it gets away with it for me because it was good. Like the scene was elite, but
Oh, yeah.
if the scene was bad, it would be a problem.
Because when I look at fan service, I kind of, and don't get me wrong, fans have always asked for Hayden Christensen to come back, but it didn't feel. I don't think it's fan service if it's like just the logical thing of, well, we're going to have Vader in this. Who should Vader be? We'll go get the right actor. Whereas having Mr. Fantastic as a cameo character in the film and then going, oh, who are the fans all shouting about? Let's go cast him.
That's fair enough.
I think they're both fair shouts, and they were definitely the two largest moments of fan service.
I think the other issue is people complain about fan service, which to me seems odd because people complain that they don't get what they want out of things. And then people complain when they bring back people that they liked. But that's just
give
me.
us all of this crap that will take up half of your runtime, but it will all make us happy. And then they do it, and then they're like, "Well, it was only an hour of actual story." It's like, because you wanted an hour of random shit.
Actually, I think I might change my pick. The biggest fan service was definitely Avatar: Way of the Water for the fans that have waited 12 years for this.
Stop.
Harry has just caused an absolute entire fan base to nibble at that comment.
That they have served them just as they served them with the first one, a steaming plate of shit.
No,
I wouldn't know.
demo.
I haven't seen it, but
I will go see it, but
I won't.
I'll probably watch it on DVD. in
I'm
like
not
5
going
minutes.
for the film. I'm going for the tech demo. So,
And I would like to, because I just always feel like there's gonna be someone who's there watching this their first episode and they're like, "Why does this guy hate Avatar?" I hate it because it pretends to be something it's not. It acts like it's this deep, meaningful film, and it isn't. It's a
set
tech
him off.
demo.
And
a
it's
tech
boring.
demo. Yeah, no, the story's nothing. Give me 40 minutes of them showing off all these fun effects and let me go home. But not only did we have a large year of new content in 2023, there was drama and news every single week, normally coming out on a Thursday.
Mainly DC or Sony related.
DC and Sony had a hell of a year. So I've grabbed some noteworthy ones here. I'm sure you will all remember more as we talk about them. So some of the goods were Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine for Deadpool 3, and Henry Cavill rejoining the DC. Some of the lows were Henry Cavill then leaving the DC again a couple of months later.
About 2 weeks.
We also had James Gunn taking over DC. We had a million Fantastic Four casting rumors, none of which have been confirmed or denied yet. We had Harrison Ford joining the MCU as Thunderbolt Ross after the passing of William Hurt. We had many woes from Ezra Miller, which has gone silent for now. We'll see how that goes. We
Yeah,
had
2 weeks.
confirmation that Joker 2 was going to be a musical. During San Diego Comic-Con, we got phases 5 and 6 of the MCU laid out. The Infinity Saga, no, not Infinity Saga, the Multiverse Saga. And Sony take the cake for me with the announcements of El Muerto, Madam Web, and Hypno Hustler
You're
films
missing.
in their
You're also
Spider-Verse.
missing one. Oh
Yeah, no, I don't include Craven because he's not a random character to do a film on.
yeah, but they're still fucking it up. So
Yeah, they are. That's a whole different argument, though.
I think the biggest takeaway, and news-wise, is Sony's fucked up at every turn they can make. DC has fucked up for 90% of the year and has saved it at the end of the year by hiring James Gunn.
You really give them credit for that if they do it like
Well,
accidentally?
it's better late than never.
Yeah,
That's true.
Henry Cavill's had an absolute mare at the end of the year.
Yeah, the man. I mean, he's launched his 40K project though, which has the internet abuzz.
This is true.
He's a perfect guy for that, to be fair, because he's a massive nerd.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all fans want with these projects.
The prediction is that he's only doing this because he wants his own official canon figure in Warhammer.
If I was Henry Cavill, I would do this as well to get my own figure.
I back it. I back it 100%. I mean, I guess the question is: A, have I missed anything that you guys like? That was a big bit of news.
It wasn't a big bit of news, but I did have a lot of fun earlier in the year with Hori's weekly "Is Black Panther filming or not?" update.
Yeah.
That then went dark, and then we were like, "Oh, there's a trailer now." By the way,
we did have a lot of fun trying to guess what productions were and weren't being hampered by COVID. There was the never-ending saga of DC delaying its projects.
Yes.
And I'm still not convinced that's fully over. I think Aquaman could face another delay.
Shock.
But
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I think you've actually.
I have one that doesn't directly relate to TV and film, but it could do if there's a crossover. We had the big Activision takeover from Xbox earlier in the year, which was huge for the entertainment industry.
We did.
Although
obviously it's still not gone through yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
When it actually will.
You mean another one of Sony's masterclasses where they make everyone unhappy?
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, to give Sony a teeny tiny little bit of credit,
there we go.
They have got Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales on PC this year,
and Last of Us and God of War.
Oh yeah, I was talking about good games.
It's taking them a while.
Whoa! I was about to nibble.
I am joking.
That's
God
where
of
the
War is on my
podcast gets
Steam
cancelled.
You're about to get roasted.
There was also confirmation of the Last of Us TV show, wasn't there?
Oh,
January 15th.
January 15th, mate. Get it in your calendar. I cannot wait.
But it's been a interesting year, that's for sure. I do think, as Hori said, Sony and DC kind of dominated the news and not very often in a good way.
We have ragged on them almost every week.
Yeah. But they deserve it. So, I mean, when they start being better at business, maybe we'll stop ragging on them.
Well, 2023 is New Year, New Me for DC. So,
yeah. We're gonna for the most part leave any of our pre-notions about these companies in 2022 and give them a fresh start.
Oh, you're definitely not.
Yeah, no promises.
Can't wait. No, the last 3 weeks.
I know you way too well.
It would take like a week into the new year where Sony will do something wrong, and he's like, "For fuck's sake, it's not changed."
I will be honest. Sony get much less of a leash because they've not made any changes. I'm gonna give DC a bit of time because James Gunn needs to have a chance to get his stuff off the ground. It's just. It feels like every week there was something going on.
Yeah, it was. We started last year off the back of Spider-Man because that was December.
Yeah.
which we were like, yeah, this is good. We've got content. And then we had like a dry spell. And then I feel like it was non-stop content and news every
When we
week.
had do we have the genius moment of deciding to cover Star Wars and Lord of the Rings?
Well, we were like, oh, there's a quiet spot. Let's cover some of Star Wars. And then there was another quiet spot. And we're like, we'll do Lord of the Rings. And then at the time of Lord of the Rings, we then ended up with Marvel, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings all going on at the same time. We ended up having like the busiest summer ever.
Yeah, it was mental busy. Not that I would change a second of it.
I feel like it's hard to remember any big Marvel news from this year just because DC was so useless that something stupid always came out. So I feel like if Marvel did anything wrong, no one knew about it because DC were too busy doing whatever fuck up they were doing that week.
Yeah, like I said, the only real Marvel news was the millions of casting rumors, mainly around Fantastic Four, but some other.
Yeah, and I mean the
bits as well.
Phase 5 and 6 got laid out.
Yeah, but I mean that wasn't necessarily even like news in the sense of it broke before they chose to broke it. They did their big reveal of everything. They told
Yeah.
us we were getting Secret War. They told us we were getting Kang Dynasty. They went, "This is how it's all going," and we all collectively went, "Oh shit, that's fast."
And that keeps us going for another couple of years.
Yeah, that makes our life easy until 2026, at which point this empire comes crumbling down. But this brings us on to, I think, a overall ranking of what happened in 2022. So I think what I'd like us to do is kind of have a bit of a roundtable discussion and then give our own individual feelings on maybe our favourite and least favourite TV shows, our favourite films, least favourite films. So when I talk about them, I'm talking about maybe the quality of the show, and then also anyone's favourite project from this year, whether it was good or not. So if you like watch Morbius and you're like, I love how shit this is, that would be your favourite project of the year.
No one ever.
It was an example, an outlandish one maybe, but an example. And then maybe everyone's favourite bit of news from the year. Does that sound good?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, is there anything anyone would like to say to change people's minds before we even get started? Does anyone really want to go to bat for a particular TV show?
So, Avatar with... No, I'm joking.
Stop.
A TV show, Harry.
Oh, yeah, true. It probably would have been better.
That TV show would be dreadful. They would end up in a Freak of the Week format instead of a proper TV show.
I don't know if you could pay me enough money to watch an Avatar TV show.
Pay me enough money to watch Avatar the film.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't want to watch the film.
I reckon there's a very easy number to make you go watch Avatar the film.
Oh yeah, no. If they want to be like, yeah, here's $1 million to watch it, I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
It's however much a red carpet ticket costs. That is your answer. Get me next to James Cameron on the red carpet, and I'll go watch Avatar.
You're asking for an Ezra Miller situation with that one.
Don't even know what that means.
Ezra Miller's apparently based on everything under the sun. So,
okay, I'll go first. I think my favourite TV show has to be.
Man said has to be, and then hesitated.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you my favourite two. I don't think I can put them in a particular order, but they are clear of the rest for me, and it is Edge Runners and Andor.
I was going to say, coming from a mostly Star Wars thing, I feel like Andor's the clear number one for me.
And Andor was phenomenal. Edge Runners was so good. Ironically, they're both my picks for also getting well past what they should have been expected to achieve. I couldn't put them down every week. Me and Horrid finish recording. I'd be like, okay, I need a new episode of Andor now.
Yeah.
And Edge Runners, once I actually got around to watching it, I binged it in like a day.
Yeah, see, I think Andor is the clear for me. Edge Runners was amazing. But it did a lot in 6 episodes, but it was 6 short episodes. Andor just as a whole was incredible. And I want more Andor. I'm quite happy that that's all I'll get of Edge Runners. So
You're getting 4 more seasons of Andor, so you'll get it.
6 seasons and a movie.
So I think Andor has to be my clear winner for TV show.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Just to circle back to the overperforming, because I completely forgot to say this, I think Tales of the Jedi, for the length of it, did way more for those characters than it should have done, reasonably.
Yes.
It's not the
No, I
best
can back
show,
that.
but I'd for 3 short episodes, we got some nice development of already well-established characters.
I
So just a
think
little
it did a
shout
lot
out
more
to
for
that.
Dooku than it did for Ahsoka.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We got an incredible new meaning to the whole line of Ahsoka of put your training to the test.
Yeah, no, but I think adding or seeing more of Dooku's fall adds
true.
a lot of context to his character.
This is why I love Dave, because if the
You don't know
Dooku,
him like that. You don't know him like
It's
that.
like Dave, guy down
But-
pub.
That is Mr. Fillion to you.
but with the Dooku episodes and see like how his fall occurred, if you watch that and then go back and watch episode 2, he's somehow managed to make episode 2 make more sense. If you get what I mean, like
Yeah.
Dooku's interactions with Obi-Wan.
Dave Filoni's on his own back has somehow improved the prequels without changing the prequels.
I like to imagine Dave Filoni barges into Star Wars headquarters every 6 months and just goes, right, here's how I'm going to fix these fuck-ups you made. he just disappears behind the cloak.
He's just got a
again and comes back
whiteboard with like
solutions.
his list of all the canon issues that fans now have, and he's like going through crossing them off as he like fixes every single one.
And I mean, we've said this over the course of the year, Harry. It does feel like Star Wars at the minute are trying to fix these issues they've got in plot to round off this era of time and just go, and now we're over here. But they don't want to leave what they've already made in a mess.
Yeah,
They want to fix it and go.
I don't know how they're going to fix the Disney trilogy, though.
Listen, some things can't be saved. I'll say this now, though. If Dave Filoni somehow canonically makes the line, somehow Palpatine returned makes sense, he might be the greatest creator of content of ever if he makes that work.
Right, wild thought. What if the whole Mandalorian series is a lead up to him fixing that one line?
Now, you see, it is actually plausible given what happened in it happened in Kenobi at the end where Kenobi's like rescuing Leia. There's the one scene where he sees all the dead Jedi in the pods. So I feel like there's some sort of build up to explaining Palpatine, but I don't think you can fix that line.
There is fuckery afoot.
He will do his best, and if anyone could do it, Dave will do it.
Exactly. Josh, why do I feel like your favourite TV show of the year is not going to be one on our list?
I have 3
Go on.
written down. Stranger Things
Greedy.
season 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai season 5, and season 3 of The Boys.
Okay,
And
if
that isn't motivation for Hori to get his ass in gear and watch it, I don't know what is.
We'll see if I've watched it by this time next year on next New Year special.
Stop it.
I'm going to go out and say season 3 of The Boys was phenomenal. However, I have one huge issue with it.
Oh no!
I didn't watch it.
A lot of the excitement for the entire series was around
Herogasm?
Herogasm, thank you. And it massively underdelivered.
No, bollocks. I loved Herogasm.
Okay, here's the thing. It is a good episode. It underdelivered on their promise of this is like nothing you've ever seen before. Because if you actually think about it, that episode did nothing we haven't seen in The Boys before. They just did them all in one episode instead of over 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, I get that point of view. I know it was hyped up to be like something special,
breaking.
Yeah, and it didn't reach that height, but it was still fantastic.
Yeah. But I would argue what happened in the first 5 minutes of the first episode with the lower half exploding. I would argue that was more outrageous and out of pocket than Herogasm.
That's a fair comment.
And that is the only reason that, and maybe it shouldn't because the show was still great. But I feel like if you're going to market something a certain way and then you don't deliver on that, it has to take points off.
Story of Josh's life.
Referee.
It's
a violation for the person that's not even watched it. That's outrageous.
I'm surprised someone as old as Hori can make a reference like that.
Here we go.
Luke, do I take it Andor is your number one for the year, or have you got any other rogue shouts that you'd like to mention?
No rogue shouts. I think I'd say Moon Knight was probably my favorite Marvel piece, but I think Andor is quite comfortably the best show I've watched and probably the best Star Wars content since Revenge of the Sith.
Awesome. So is everyone content with their TV show choices?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Now it moves on to, I think, a traditionally more prestigious category in the film department. I've got a feeling we're going to get maybe one or two answers pretty consistently here. So I'm going to open up with both of them, so I don't seem to be the copycat.
Wow.
For me, is the Batman or Black Panther. I think they are pretty clear of everything else. Morbius is definitely down in a pit by itself. But I don't really think anything else holds a light to them films. They are very different. They are good in very unique and different ways. But they both left me, as I was coming out of the cinema, going, wow, which is not an easy thing to do. But now for you guys to be copycats and steal my answers.
So my favorite film was Morbius now. No, I think I would agree with Batman. Given DC's horrific year, they somehow managed to do that well. I was pleasantly surprised by how good Robert Pattinson was. I think I was probably the same as a lot of people where it felt like a bit of a rogue.
That's fucking Cedric Diggory you're talking about, mate. How dare you? The disrespect is absurd.
I mean,
and I feel like that was a bit rogue, but it was probably partly due to Twilight that people had that notion that he would have.
Twilight's goated.
I'll be honest, I was skeptical as well, but as we got closer, I remember saying to you, Hori, on this podcast, now that I know they're going for more of a detective-centric Batman story, I wasn't worried anymore. It was when I thought they might try and pull off like a Christian Bale-esque style that I was concerned. Once I knew they were focusing more on the detective, I was like, fuck yeah, this is a great casting. And I was proven right, which is nice, because I was very, very concerned about looking like a dick.
It's controversial, and Connor's going to hate me for it.
Oh no!
But no, I'm joking. Connor's look then was so ready to just shut me down.
I was like, you dare to way of the water.
He's not even seen it yet.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly think the Batman took it from me this year. Black Panther was amazing, and how they handled writing out T'Challa was great. But I think I expected that to be good. And I think the fact that Batman was so unknown, and overall just the story was great, the way that it was filmed and the style of it, I loved, and the art style and the way the cinematography was done. I think Batman has to take it for Film of the Year for me.
Josh?
I had two down. Believe it or not, I have two on my list, and one is Batman. I love R-Pats. I think he smashed it. I know a lot of people like yourself, Con, were concerned going in, but I think he done a great job. And number two, so I've not actually watched many films this year, but I really, I enjoyed it more than most people in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I thought Elizabeth Olsen was absolute different gravy. I think she absolutely smashed it. Oh,
yeah.
Acting wise,
I
thought she was different gravy. Obviously, I'm a huge Office nerd. Seeing Mr. Jim Halpert himself pop up I lost my head a little bit. I was nerding out. But overall, I think I enjoyed it a lot more than most people did. So yeah, Batman and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness were mine too.
I am gonna throw a rogue third shout out there as something that's not on the list.
Oh,
Yesterday and today, me and my partner we watched Knives Out and then Glass Onion Knives Out today. I'd never seen them before. Glass Onion is one of the most enjoyable films I've watched in a long time. There was something about it, the colouring, the bit quirky comedy, the story. It was very, very good for me. And I would like to see more of them films pronto.
So I've seen the first one, and I think I'm watching the new one on New Year's Day, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I mean, I've heard good things. I enjoyed the first one,
Very, very good.
so I'd be disappointed if the second one isn't what I hoped it to be.
I think I'm gonna have to watch them purely on the basis of Ben Shapiro had the dumbest take on how those film works ever, and now I just want to watch it. It's an odd reason
I
to
haven't
watch
seen
it,
them.
but
Watching something that gets spikes always value.
exactly.
I think although they fucked up, what was it, episode 8, Rian Johnson has somehow managed to make a Poirot-esque detective that was popular in like the 50s and 60s work in the modern world, which I didn't think was possible. So you've got to give them their credit for that.
Yeah. Oh, also, just to apply context, Ben Shapiro's tweet and his issue with the second Knives Out was that most of the first half was a misdirect. Clearly
What
doesn't
did you
understand
expect?
how films work, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm going to watch it.
Welcome to a detective. That man would hate M. Night Shyamalan. Right, favourite project of the year. Now, I'm going to open this up a little bit more, so it obviously includes your TV and your films, which are always a bit difficult to compare. But we've also got maybe video games, TV, novelizations,
Video games came out.
and anything in the sphere that was released this year. Let's hear it.
So I have a list of 3. I've broken
Go
it
on.
down to TV, film, and game.
Go on.
Two previously mentioned. Film, I've gone with the Batman. TV, I've gone with season 4 of Stranger Things. And game, I have gone with God of War Ragnarok, which leads me on to the fact that Amazon, I believe it's Amazon Prime, have been confirmed to be making a God of War series, which I am ecstatic about.
And people were trying to cast white actors to play Kratos.
I am. My biggest concern is the casting of Kratos.
If they cast a white man, I'm going to lose my mind.
I think they should just get Christopher Judge to do it.
Yes,
I don't
they
understand.
absolutely should. Just give Christopher Judge the fucking
Like,
role.
I don't understand why they wouldn't do it unless he turned it down, which I doubt he would.
He would never.
So I'm very much looking forward to that, but the casting of Kratos is definitely the only thing that is scaring me at the minute. And until anything is announced, I will be shitting my pants because it is Ragnarok's my game of the year without a doubt. Obviously, it's only on PS5 at the minute, but God of War 1 is out and ready on PC. So, Con, if you haven't played that, you need to.
It's on my wish list. It's on my wish list, but I need to.
That's one you need to play.
Life and Mars Morales first.
So yeah, Stranger Things season 4, Batman, God of War, Ragnarok are my 3 favorite projects of the year.
Awesome, Luke. What about yourself? Doesn't count.
No, as previously mentioned, Andor and Batman would be top TV show and film for me, pretty comfortably as well. I can't pick God of War as my favorite game purely because I've not played it, so I'm going to go with Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga because I absolutely love that a game that has basically been released 3 times already and condensed into one,
and still is so much fun to
better
play.
than all of them. Yeah, no, I think Skywalker Saga for me is probably the best project.
Great show.
Valid. Awesome. Horizontal yourself.
I am torn between Andor and Edge Runners as my favorite TV. Andor was incredible, and I've already ranked it as like my number 1. But I think purely because it was close. I'm going to go with Edge Runners just because what they did in 6 episodes of Edge Runners is destroyed my emotions,
Magical.
and I don't know how they did it.
Luke, have you watched Edge Runners on Netflix?
I have not, no.
You should
I
all
have a
watch it.
horrific backlog on Netflix to watch.
It is 6 episodes. They're about
Binge
20
them in
minutes
one go.
each. You can do it in
Nice
3
and
hours.
easy to get through, mate. Nice and easy.
I promise you, you will be weeping like a child afterwards and screaming at us for putting you through it, but you will love every second of it.
Film is going to be the Batman again, though I'm going to give a shout out to the Screaming Goats from Love and Thunder.
True comedy gods.
They were great, and people hate them for no reason because they're boring.
It was Zoomer humor.
Games. See, I'm boring and play the same games every year.
Oh, we know. We know.
So my man rotates Rust, Valorant.
Oh, you don't want to see my Steam rewind was 80% Rust, something like 12% New World, and then a bunch of random games.
Mine was quite bad actually.
I don't know. You know what? I've only started. I haven't finished it yet, but from what I've played, High on Life is fucking hilarious.
I finished downloading High on Life today, and I'll be playing that in the new year.
I started playing through it, and it's fucking great. So maybe I'll put that as my game.
I mean, as a huge Rick and Morty fan, the comedy seems to be 1-to-1. So I'm sure I'm going to have a blast playing it on stream. Okay, my favourite projects of the year. So I took this less from the what was greatest, but what literally I look at and I was like, I see what you were going for there, and it was so close to perfect. I want you to keep pushing at that. So my favourite video-esque project of the year, film TV, was Werewolf by Night. I adored the art style. I loved the use of newer characters, quirkier characters, and I enjoyed that they would, after 10 years of success in the MCU, that they're willing to try new things on Disney Plus. So I that's my favorite project because it shows they're still trying things and they still want to be creative as possible and not fall back into their rinse and repeat formula. Gaming for me is a bit of a cop out because it didn't technically get released this year, but it did.
Oh, there we go.
And it is Spider-Man Remastered for the PC. I never got to play it.
I'll let you have it.
Yeah, I never got to play it. It came out on PS4. And I literally almost bought a PS4 just to play the game. But I didn't. I waited throughout an entire pandemic. Came out the other side, and it got released on PC, and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. And I cannot wait again in the new year to get cracking with some Miles. Because I am sure that is going to be just as much fun to play. But we need more superhero games. And I don't mean the shitty ones we used to get where they'd release a film and they'd release a thrown together, cobbled together game that kind of matched the film story.
Spider-Man 2 for next year, mate.
We need other IPs to be given the Insomniac treatment.
Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, that's likely not going to be what 2024.
Yeah,
exactly. Do you reckon?
Yeah. And I don't want us to have to rotate like one of these games every other year, and then it hopefully be good. They need to make an effort. Disney has got more money than God. Get a game studio going, get the right people in to manage it, and you've got all of the IPs, all of them. Disney owns so many phenomenal characters.
Although I do remember, Blessing Adeyoye Jr. hosted the Disney Games Conference, and wasn't there a game coming out with Captain America, Black Panther, and someone else as like?
Yeah.
I don't think, to my knowledge, we've not had any more information on that.
No, we've not.
But that's one to keep our eyes out for. I doubt it's. I'm pretty sure it's made by Amy Hennig's team, so it's got good direction, and fingers crossed we get some more information about that soon.
I think my only concern for these future video games would be, not that I think that'd be bad, but I just hope people don't expect all of them to be as good as the Spider-Man ones were.
Yeah, I don't think
because they can
people.
still be really
They've
good
set the bar
without
way
getting as
too
good as
high.
that. Insomniac have set this ridiculous bar for how good a superhero game should be, and I guess the challenge is always getting a superhero's moveset and abilities
Hmm.
into a video game.
Well, Gotham Knights got shit on in reviews, so
The Batman Arkham games, not including Gotham Knights and Spider-Man, are built perfectly to be video game characters.
Yeah, that's like the mold that they need
Yeah.
to go with.
I personally adore the Flash and want a Flash game. But I also sit here week in, week out and go, I just don't know how they do it with it making sense. Because it's so difficult to get right. But we've got to
we've
trust.
got Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League next year. I don't know if it's got a
Yeah, we
date.
do. Yeah, we do. Kevin Conroy's last appearance. I think it's early-ish.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's got a date, but whether that's going to be any good, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I really don't like the Harley Quinn from what we've seen in it. But
Well, that's an L take, but it's fine.
Right.
As a guest, I will be accommodating to your terrible opinions.
Thank you very much.
And now we move on to my favourite bit. What has been your favourite bit of news this year? It doesn't necessarily have to be good news. It can be bad news, but it can still be your favourite bit of news.
I'm sure someone might agree with me, Horace, so I pipped you to the post there. James Gunn to DC. I just don't think
solid news.
I'd be inclined to agree.
I don't think there's anything. So for me, I've never been a massive DC guy. Always been a huge Marvel. So I reckon he could be someone that gets me more into DC than anything has done before. Obviously intrigued to see what comes out of it, but that I reckon that's without a doubt my nerdy news of the year, as you put it.
Okay.
Mine is twofold in the sense of it was the saddest news that led to some of the best news, which was Henry Cavill leaving Witcher, but now Henry Cavill's doing Warhammer 40k. So I'll take that trade.
I mean, we got that comment underneath one of our underneath our segment about Henry's 40k plans last week, where someone went, "It sucks that Henry had to lose the job as Superman for this to become possible, but I think we can all agree it's a worthy trade-off as a fan." And hopefully the project lives up to what people want it to be.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to that. More on it.
What about yourself, Luke?
Mine is not TV or film related. Mine's video game related. I'm actually pretty happy for Jedi Survivor.
Yes, now
The trailer.
March 16th, I want to say.
Yeah,
it's March 17th. I believe.
17th.
It's mid-March. That's
Yeah,
for 100%.
A bit like Spider-Man, I think. Jedi Fallen Order was probably like the standard of what people want out of that sort of game. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to returning the journey as Cal. And
okay, is this with facial hair?
Hopefully, this might actually lead to live action Cal Kestis.
We can hope. We can only hope. We can only
Get
hope.
Cal Kestis in Kenobi season 2.
That's reminding me though of Acolyte and them teasing Acolyte. I'm so excited for
2024 though, is it?
I don't probably, but I'm so hyped for Sif content.
Sif stories. Pog. Okay, well, my favourite bit of news by far is Sony announcing El Muerto. Absolutely the fuck not. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Man nearly bait me.
Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine was something that made me very, very happy when it was announced. Because, as I said, for me and Hori and probably both of you, we grew up watching them X-Men films along with the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire films. Yep. Hugh Jackman is a superhero to me. And that, like, even now when I look back and I go, in theory, Hugh Jackman's a terrible casting. He's too tall. He wasn't the right style of guy at all. He played the role so perfectly that even now with the information that he was the wrong guy at the time, I still look at him and go, that is Wolverine. I'm so happy that he gets to come back in a film that is going to have so much love poured into it, working alongside one of his best friends. So that is just phenomenal and so exciting. And of course, James Gunn to take over DC is great, great news. I've said 101 times on here, although you wouldn't believe it the way I talk sometimes, I am more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy. So the idea that James Gunn's going to give DC that
Structure.
Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy flair, I'm so all in on, and I cannot wait to see what he gives us.
Before we move on to 2023,
Go on.
I also want to shout out Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. Both great shows. Rings of Power had its small issues and had its small, like, teething thing issues, but I think it'll be great going into season 2. And House of the Dragon, I thought was incredible and really well done. Again, had some teething issues with the way that they've done the show, but I think their season 2 will be better as well.
I agree.
So.
We've got a long wait until season 2 of Ring of Power, don't we?
Yeah, it could be end of 2023, but more likely early 2024, which is a shame.
It's sad.
But...
Fortunately, looks like we have enough content for next year. Yeah. And that moves us on to the 2023 content preview, sponsored by no one. If anyone wants to sponsor it, let us know.
Sponsored by Crumb Builds, I heard.
Crumb Computing, yeah.
Crumb's Computing.
He can't afford us.
Wow.
I'll take a free PC.
Oh, well, I bet you will.
Not wrong, not wrong. Okay, so in 2023, again, this is in no particular order. The first few are in an order that goes to shit, as I remembered more stuff. So we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians Volume 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Marvels, Kraven the Hunter, What If Season 2, Secret Invasion, Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, X-Men 97, Agatha Coven of Chaos, that covers the Marvel stuff. Then DC, we've got Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which I believe has been delayed twice. The Flash, which has been delayed, I believe, 3 times. Blue Beetle, which has not been delayed. Woohoo!
Win for DC.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which has also been delayed twice.
Oh, what a shame.
That's a shock.
We've got Peacemaker Season 2, which is expected in 2023, but not been confirmed. We've got Bad Batch Season 2, which starts in like 4 days. We've got Star Wars Visions. They're calling it Volume 2, but it's essentially Season 2, which was a great project. We've got Ahsoka. We've got Skeleton Crew, which we know very little about. We've got Mandalorian Season 3. Invincible Season 2 is almost guaranteed to be in 2023, although we don't know when exactly, which is very, very exciting. And as was announced yesterday as of recording, to celebrate Stan Lee's 100th birthday, or what would have been his 100th birthday, Disney Plus is going to be releasing a Stan Lee documentary.
Which will be very cool.
Now, out of that big list, everyone, what is the project that shouts out to you the most? For good or bad reasons?
Most on the song?
No. Just good or bad. What shouts out to you the most?
I'm gonna make maybe a bold prediction early on. Across the Spider-Verse is going to be the best one of the lot.
Retweet.
I don't know
probably
but that's that bold a prediction.
Well, I guess to say it at the start of the year is bold in that it could flop.
I think it's only
no chance.
I think it's
zero chance it flops.
I think it's July or June.
But given how the first one went, I am very, very confident that will be the best project of the year.
Film of the year, I'm calling it already. From my personal point of view.
No, it's definitely no. I think my project, or the one thing on that list that jumps out the most to me that I'm so excited for is Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka is gonna take Star Wars to another level again.
Live action Ahsoka is what the people.
Ahsoka is going to be better than Mando.
See, I actually put this down on my notes when Con put this list when he mentioned most concerned. I would say most concerned, but not because I think it will be bad. I think because of how Book of Boba Fett went, I guess I just don't want them to fuck it up, basically. And I worry that like if they mess that one up, I think it will.
I don't
probably annoy a lot more people.
It's Dave's love child. Like that Ahsoka series is gonna be
Dave gets
perfect.
all of my trust until he does something to lose it, and I don't see that happening anytime soon.
So on my two least concerned out of that
I
list.
don't think we're moving on to that stuff yet. I think we'll talk about the list as a whole.
Oh, it was fair
That's the
play.
whole.
Oh, get shut
Oh.
down.
Luke's managed to reel his off. I go to do
Yeah.
mine and
Yeah.
it gets shut down. That's how it is. That's fine.
Just
Yeah,
most
Luke's my
hype.
favourite.
Most hype. I'm adding Last of Us, HBO
I'm
to
with
that
Josh
list.
on that one.
Oh, I'll also add the D&D movie we discussed before recording.
Yes,
Is that Chris Pine?
There is a D&D movie being released.
I forget.
What's
It looks
Is
good.
it, is it Chris Pine?
I can't remember. I'm so bad with
I'm
names.
googling it right now. Honor
Uh,
Among Thieves.
as someone who plays
2023.
D&D regularly,
yes, Chris Pine.
I
there
thought
was
so.
there was a lot of like Easter
It's
eggs
got
in
a-
the trailer,
It's got a
and
jacked cast. What the fuck?
it seems like they are very much gonna like they're gonna play into those D&D like little fun Easter egg things.
Let's just have a little discussion about this cast quickly.
Oh, here we go.
One sec. It brought up a cast from an old 2000s film that was not well received. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
We've got Chris Pine, who's playing a bard. We've got Roger Jean Page, who was in the Netflix show Bridgerton, who's playing the Paladin. We've got Michelle Rodriguez from the Fast and Furious franchise playing the Barbarian. We've got Hugh Grant. It doesn't say who he's playing.
The goat.
We've got Justice Smith, who, what do I recognise him from? Many things, I'm sure. Who's playing the Sorcerer. He was the main human character in Detective Pikachu. We've got just so many actors that I feel like have been waiting for a huge opportunity in side roles, and the film looks really well put together. It's an
It
exciting
also
project
looks
for sure.
fun.
It does, and I think it needs to have an element of chaos.
Oh, 100%. It's D&D.
Was there not a bit in the trailer where they like struggle to open a door?
I think there is.
Yeah,
And there's a mimic
and that-
chest, which is like a big meme in D&D.
Yeah.
Like anything could be a mimic. It's gonna be very much like a chaotic D&D game with your mates, and
I won't be surprised if it's kind of like Jumanji Next Level.
yes,
Where, like, yeah, you've got the actors, but like they act in the way of the character in the real world does.
Yep.
I won't be surprised if it actually is done like that in a bit of the Lego movie, where it's revealed that actually you are just watching the people's imagination of playing their game of D&D.
I'm so okay if at the end it just switches to like a shot of them all sat around like a table playing D&D with little figurines and shit.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to do it, because it allows you to have more fun in the actual film by just doing stupid shit that makes no sense.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So go on, what is your most hype then, Mr. Crumb Season?
Most hype. Across the Spider-Verse and Last of Us HBO.
Yeah.
Yep. Without a doubt.
What about yourself, Luke?
Yeah, much same as Josh. Spider-Verse and The Last of Us season 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I think those two will pretty much be my favorite of the year.
Like clear, yes.
Like they will be my favorite of the year without like knowing anything about what any of them are going to do. Those will be my two favorite. Ahsoka will be up there. Mandalorian will probably be just as good as the first two seasons, but yeah,
Okay.
I think just most excited for those.
What about yourself, Mr. Horizontal?
I have to go with Ahsoka as my most hyped.
Yeah.
And I mean, Spider-Verse is up there, but Ahsoka takes it for me.
Okay. I mean, it's very samey. Spider-Verse is absolutely the one I'm most hyped for. It helps that it's one of the fewer ones in here that we have a trailer for, and like the original was potentially the best ever Spider-Man project. So it has a good base to launch itself from, as well as just only good rumors circulating around it. I think other things up there for me would be Invincible season 2. I mean, Invincible season 1's a masterpiece. It's one of them things that if you haven't, go watch it. Blue Beetle, I'm very excited for. Blue Beetle was a character that I like quite a lot, and like the film doesn't seem to have a lot of controversy around it compared to other DC films. It's floated under the radar. They've done their filming. They've done everything else. There's no big names attached to it to have a scandal. They've just gone, we're going to turn up, do our job, go home. Hopefully it's good. And that makes me confident that it will be good.
I have another hype. So it's Ahsoka, but then also Secret Invasion. I'm so ready to have the whole of the MCU just be pulled apart in one season of Secret Invasion. And it's going to be great.
Mind up.
I'm so ready.
Valid. Okay, what is everyone's least hyped project of the year?
Wow, no, this is so controversial.
What is everyone looking at going, I could not give less of a fuck?
I'm just gonna get straight in there and upset Connor massively.
Go on.
And I will preface this with, this is only because I have no idea what the character is or what it's about.
Go on.
Blue Beetle. But that's not even because I think it will be bad. I just have no clue about Blue Beetle.
That is
Likewise.
valid.
It automatically has to go to the bottom because I just don't know anything about it.
That is completely valid. But I also do think it could end up, if you boys bother going to see it, and if it is as good as it could be,
I'll go to see it.
It could end up fighting with, like, retroactively what was the best of the year. There is a genuine chance, in my opinion. The suit leaks of what I've seen look as good as anything I've ever seen from a superhero film.
I'm looking at this list, and there's
a lot Horry does not look forward to having to watch.
Yeah, there's a few that I'm like, I'm neither hyped, and I'm like, I'll watch it, but I'm not like overly fussed about going out of my way. But I honestly think the thing that takes the cake for the least hype I could give less of a shit about watching is the Flash film. Because at this,
curious?
Nah, at this point, I'm just so done with it. I'm so done with the mess that is the Flash. Considering that this is almost 100% likely going to mean fuck all. It's going to get scrapped and all of that. Like Aquaman, I have more interest in seeing because I like Jason Momoa. Like, I'm like, just get the film out and get it done with. I'm so sick of hearing about Ezra Miller. I'm so sick of hearing about the constant delays. It's just like, all of this means nothing because James Gunn's just going to go, yeah, I don't want any of this anyway, so see you later. Like, just get it done.
I do get that, I do. And I'm not going to lie to you, I've gone similar, but I'm too curious about the Flash.
No.
My least hyped is Craven.
That was down there. It was down there.
I love Craven, and everything that has been confirmed about this film tells me this is not actually a film about Craven, and it's just they're using that name to make money. Therefore, I have zero hype for it. And I've got a feeling it could. There is definitely a world where I can't get to see it on release day. It has a Morbius-like reception. I just go sack it off.
No. Yeah, Craven's definitely down there. To be honest, it's not necessarily like least hyped, but I'm not. Peacemaker season 2 just because I haven't seen season 1. So I'm like, if I can get around to seeing season 1, I'll maybe be a bit more excited for it. But
it's almost like Warner Brothers and HBO should sort their shit out and make HBO Max much easier to access in the UK.
They really should.
Which is going to be a big reason The Last of Us doesn't do well, by the way, guys.
I'm not
in the UK.
In the UK.
I mean, like globally, it will be very well received where people can watch it, but it will not be seen to do that well in actual numbers unless it manages to become the most pirated show.
Well, I am literally buying a Now TV Entertainment Pass purely to watch The Last of Us.
Is it being put on an actual TV?
HBO stuff is on Now TV.
It's on Now TV.
HBO, but
it's on like Sky Atlantic.
Maybe it has a chance then. Maybe it has a chance.
It still is like HBO stuff is still difficult to watch in the UK.
Okay, so it might do a bit better then. Now, the film or project that you are all least concerned
Sky Atlantic.
Least concerned. Can
we go back? I didn't say my controversial one for least.
Oh shit! No, but we didn't. I didn't do the least type for you two. I do apologise. Josh, what is your least type project?
Did for Luke.
Right. So, realistically, I don't really care about Shazam: The Flash, but you ready for this? So the one I'm least hyped about, and I'm gonna have to watch just to keep in the loop of everything, Loki season 2.
Oh, you stink!
That's controversial.
Honestly,
that is controversial.
I know it's controversial. I just, out of all the
tell me
Disney
you can't
Plus,
understand the multiverse without telling me you can't understand the multiverse.
that honestly could be it. It might be too much for my tiny brain. I just,
It's gonna say something
I
else.
didn't hate it. I just didn't love it anywhere near as much as everyone else did. So obviously I'll watch it just because I want to keep in the loop. But like, I'm definitely not excited for it.
So I like that Luke went for a controversial one against Connor.
Yeah.
And
I went for it against the world.
against the MCU fans.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, Connor just said he really loves this character and it's my least hype one. Whereas Josh is just like, I hate everyone.
Josh was just shut on the TV show.
I would have, to be honest, I would have felt more attacked if he'd said Ahsoka.
No, I'm looking forward to that.
So,
now, what projects are we least concerned about?
oh, easy. Least concerned,
I've got
Spider-Man
two.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in line with being my most hyped, I'm also the least concerned about Spider-Verse being good.
I get that.
In which case,
I'm
I've got
probably
3.
Well, to give a, I guess, a non-boring answer. Well, it's still a boring answer, but it's not Spider-Man. I'd say Mando. I think everyone knows that'll probably be as good as the first 2 seasons, and it's Dave's thing. So if Dave does it, it's probably going to be good.
Makes sense.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else on that list that I'm like really not concerned about.
Can you include DC things on least concerned?
Like, it's funny you say that. Josh, what were your least concerned projects?
So I originally had 2, but
Go on.
I didn't even put Across the Spider-Verse into consideration because I'd like.
You were so unconcerned.
I was that unconcerned. I didn't even put it in my notes. So now I've got Mando season 3 and Ahsoka. I think Mando, we know the IP now, and everyone who enjoyed the first 2 seasons are gonna love the second one. Plus 2.5 with. And Ahsoka, I think those into Star Wars are going to love it regardless, and I think it will do well in terms of getting new people into that character.
Yeah.
And
the fact it's Dave Filoni's character, it's his character. Like he's not going to let it be bad.
It is about time the live action only Star Wars fans realised why the rest of the world loves Ahsoka so much.
It's yeah, but I think we're very unconcerned about Ahsoka, but I am concerned for the 75 millionth time Dave Filoni is going to absolutely ruin my feelings.
We are
with a certain scene.
Order 66.
He's going to build us up and give this like really lovely, like heartwarming moment between like, 2 huge characters, and then just like slash it.
When he comes to writing it or like any production, do you reckon his first little note he puts is like Order 66 scene?
Dave,
like there has to be there.
Order 66 is the first scene he plans in any show he ever does. I'm convinced of it.
Do you know what's really funny? No one complains about it in the sense of this is bad storytelling.
No, because he gives us something different. Well, he gives us something different every time. Which goes
like,
back
to a fresh perspective.
Him fixing canon again. It's just him like fleshing out that whole moment because it was such a big moment, but it was like so over, like such a quick thing in the films.
And this comes on to my next point. Dave Filoni is trying to make a timeline shift in Star Wars so that we stop using before Yavin and after Yavin, and he wants to make Order 66 the 0 year.
Yeah, before Order 66.
Yeah,
Order 66.
Because all of his stuff that he's concerned about, there is a difference in the way people act before and after that, and he wants that to be the 0 year, and that's how he tells his stories.
Yeah, I think I guess people never complain about how he does it because it's always a new perspective or how you never see. But I never actually thought of it until Hari said it. That like, for arguably the biggest moment in the Star Wars timeline, we got one of the greatest memes of all time, but we also got like the walk in and then a few Jedi being offed, and
that like, was it. There was a few scenes of like Jedi getting killed, but that's like. That's all it was. We didn't get any like actual character moments.
So for the film to do so little for it, Dave Filoni took that personally. He was like, "I'll fix this for you. Don't worry."
Just
No, it's like even
sums up
the
the Clone Wars.
even Reva's moment in Kenobi was just like that was probably I think that was the worst one actually because like you saw up to the moment where she gets hit and you're
No,
just like
Fallen Order was pretty rough.
that's true, but I mean like TV show film
Mm.
that's probably he somehow manages to make you feel worse about it every time, even though you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready for my really hot take on least concerned?
Oh, here we
Ooh.
It's
go.
gonna blow your mind. Aquaman. And are you ready?
It's because you know it's going to
doesn't
be shit.
matter.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't
Oh.
matter.
Basically the same
Rory-
thing.
yeah,
Oh,
like Corey said, it's all getting fucking chalked off anyway.
yeah,
Why should I be concerned? It doesn't fucking matter.
yeah.
I'm
No,
more
that's a good point.
concerned. I'm more concerned about Spider-Verse and Ahsoka because I care about them and they do matter. So if there's something wrong with them, it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
If Aquaman is the best film ever or the worst film ever, it makes zero difference.
Still getting chalked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, move on to our most concerned picks.
Oh no. Mm.
I might have to change my answer.
Mine's not on the list.
No, what are you most concerned about, Mr. Locke?
Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
That is a hot take.
And my reasoning being,
I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going to be playing it on stream.
it's very biased. I've wanted a game like this, like an open world Harry Potter game, since I was about
6 weeks old.
in the womb.
So when I was 10.
Yeah. And now that it's finally here, I'm just so worried that it's not going to live up to what I want it to be.
Mm.
And I think it's just going to get review bombed because of everything J.K. Rowling, which is obviously unfortunate for the people that have put all their time and effort into making the game. So worried, mainly personal bias. I want it to be good so badly, but also worried about reviews as well.
Yeah, get that. What
This
about yourself,
is-
Mr. Zontal? What are you most concerned about?
This is
2023?
difficult. I think.
It's not an easy one, is it?
I think we
Well,
can
it's like
tell.
Craven the Hunter. Already know it's going to be shit, so I'm not concerned about that. Like Connor said, like same with the Flash and Aquaman. Like, there's no concern there because it's like it is.
Do you want to know what annoys me the most about Craven Hunter? Do you remember what I said I wanted the most? You probably won't remember. Do you remember what I said I wanted the most when I last came on the pod?
God, no, I'm old.
Last week.
See, so basically I said that I wanted a live action Quicksilver series.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that they're casting Aaron Taylor-Johnson is something that's not the Quicksilver live action series really infuriates me. And I don't like that. Obviously it's a Marvel IP and they're putting someone who was a previous Marvel character as a new Marvel character. That rubs me up the wrong way.
This is Sony. They don't care.
Yeah, well, they
Sony
fucking
doesn't
should
give a
care. They should care. It
Josh is
really pisses me off.
with DC this whole time.
Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to get the casual people, probably like I'm a little bit over casual, like people a little bit lower down that are going to watch it and think, I swear I recognize that geezer in another Marvel project. And well, mainly because it's not a fucking Quicksilver project. So.
I think my most concern is, although I'm very much hyped for it, does come with Secret Invasion. There is a part of me that is very concerned that they're gonna go, psych, Iron Man's not dead. He was a Skrull, and Iron Man's actually no. This is like, I'm concerned
it's like
that they'll
fever dream fear that they're gonna undo something so impactful.
Yeah, I'm scared that like Robert Downey Jr. is going to have gone to them and be like, "Oh, I actually do want to come back," and they're going to use Secret Invasion and bring him in. And it's like, maybe they won't go to that level of Iron Man, but I'm worried they're going to bring someone back from the dead that they shouldn't.
Not to add to your fear, Hooray.
But
there are rumors with a lot of weight to them that RDJ has signed a new contract with Marvel.
Oh no!
Please no.
Please don't.
The belief is that he's just going to come back to play a variant of himself for Secret Wars.
Okay.
But
I hope
just
that's
to add to that
because
fear for you, apparently he has
because like
signed a new contract.
I'm looking forward to like the mindfucker that Secret Invasion is gonna have, but I am concerned that they're gonna undo something that they shouldn't, like the Iron Man death, because that definitely is something that should never be undone.
You're-
Surely he knows. RDJ himself knows.
I would hope so.
Not
But
to
this,
do it.
this is
Yeah, but
Disney
if they
and
throw
this
enough
is
trees at
money and money speaks, and I'm like, I just hope. That's my only concern with that.
I get that. Awesome. Luke, what are you most concerned about in 2023?
A bit similar to previous points about caring about it. I would say probably Ahsoka. And obviously we had the debate earlier about, well, it's Dave's thing, so it's going to be good anyway. But I think just for the amount that I care about it and love the character, I'm just like, if like worst case scenario, I'm just like, please don't fuck this up. I'm sure they won't, but I guess I don't have enough care for the other projects to be bothered about the concern for them. So this is the one that I'm like, if you don't fuck up one show all year, don't fuck up Ahsoka, please.
Valid. Now, ironically,
Oh, here we go.
my most concerned, Flash and Craven.
I'd say he doesn't care.
No, I said I was least hyped for Craven, but that
fair
goes
enough.
along with how concerned I am for it. I'll start with Flash though. I'm so concerned about the Flash because it doesn't matter. The film has been delayed 3 times with reshoots and everything, and I've long been a proponent of delays are never a good thing for production, unless it's just being delayed because they want to release it later. But we know the first 2 were production issues at least. As well as all of the drama revolving around Ezra Miller, I think that could hurt how well it does.
What do you
And
mean?
as someone who adores the Flash, I'm really worried this is going to hurt
His
the
reputation.
Flash's brand. And it's just going to leave to James Gunn going, that's got a bitter taste in the public mouth. Let's put that away for 10 years. And I don't want to have to wait 10 years for another Flash film. And it's very similar with Craven. They've changed the character. They've ruined the character with the way they're deciding to depict him. And I don't want that to result in a bad film that has the Morbius effect where it comes into a meme and then they won't want to use it for ages.
Oh, I think you need to accept now Craven's dead.
I just... And that's why it's almost my least hype, because I know that one's beyond saving. But I am still really concerned about it because I'm hoping they don't do so much damage that Marvel getting the rights back couldn't save it. But The Flash is still got a possibility of being a great film. And even though it won't matter, I need it to be a good film so that The Flash doesn't get shelved by James Gunn.
And before it's just a rogue Flash film of Ezra Miller's stupidity.
Yeah, it's just an Ezra Miller documentary. Look what happens when we give this star loads of
becomes primary evidence in his court case.
The Flash gets corrupted by something, and it's just Ezra Miller being an idiot.
Right then, this is my favourite one.
Oh, there we go.
Sleeper picks. What on here to most mortal people doesn't look that or not necessarily not that interesting, doesn't make everyone go, oh, I've got to watch that, and you go, that gonna be brilliant.
Right, so I've got a couple, so am I right to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so considering we know absolutely fuck all about it, other than one actor, my first one is Skeleton Crew, because I feel like if you know nothing about it, you can't assume it's going to be bad. So that's almost like my cop out, but I feel like
No, I back it.
It's just after Return of the Jedi, Mandalorian timeline. Dave's probably involved. But my other one would actually be Echo, because I believe she appeared in Hawkeye. Was it? Yeah. So as someone who knew nothing about her before that, I just thought she was quite intriguing and good in that. So for me, that's one that perhaps before I wouldn't have cared about, but now I'm actually quite interested in it.
Awesome. That's what we like to see. The MCU doing God's work and getting new characters out there in front of people. Who wants to go next? Josh, sorry.
I'll go. I'm with Luke on Skeleton Crew. I think it's one of those a bit like Andor. At first, we knew kind of fuck all about, and then when we got a bit more info, it was like, oh shit, this is going to be good. I think Skeleton Crew could be something similar, and I'm intrigued to see where they go, like in the Star Wars universe. I'm also torn between. I feel like Star Wars Visions might also be like, I know it's probably going to be good, but because it's like one-off, fun, like styled Star Wars themed stuff. I think we're gonna get some absolute banger episode or something that is just incredible watching.
Like the Samurai Fustel episode of the first season.
Yes, I think there's gonna be like one sleeper in there that's just like an incredible like thing to watch.
Big fan.
That, and I think also Echo, just because I think Echo, or I think Coven of Chaos could also be fun, but I'm not so sure.
Okay. Mr. Locke, what are your sleepers? Can't wait for him to name 3 things not on the list.
Yeah, I have one and it's not on the list.
Josh had fucked the list.
Are you ready? The Super Mario movie.
Right. The episode's over. Episode's over.
Rogue.
It's a sleeper pick.
They're not even brave enough to put Chris Pratt's Mario voice in the fucking trailer properly, more than a word. And you think it's going to be good for an entire film? I'm going to go watch it, but I'm going to be angry every time he talks.
This is my concern with the Mario film. It looks visually fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Black, excellent fucking choice for Bowser.
Everything other than Chris Pratt is
Toad.
Perfect.
Yeah, Toad sounds fucking great. Like, the other voice actors seem to have done a great fucking job. It could have been Lego movie level of like great animated film. But then you've got Chris Pratt doing a bad Italian accent. And we still haven't.
Sound like he was trying one.
Well, we still haven't heard it. And the thing that's going to annoy me more is like, okay, fine, if that's the case. But the things like the Yahoo and the like weird Mario like noises that Mario makes, they sound good. And it's going to be this weird jarring thing of like, he's going to do that and you're like, oh, this sounds good. And then he's going to speak and you're going to be like, oh,
Honest
that's...
to God, I'm at the point where I'm considering going to watch it in French with subtitles.
It might even be a better film if you just muted Chris Pratt entirely and just watched the rest of it.
Make Mario mute.
And it would still be a good film.
Josh is literally turning red.
Yeah, Josh is so annoyed with this.
Slander I'm hearing here. No, on a real one, I do think it's going to be so much better than everyone's expecting it to be. From the trailer that we've seen, the animation looked great. The sound, it's everything you want it to be from a Mario IP. Mm-hmm. It's literally, it couldn't have been any closer to a game if you tried. Charles Martinet has been confirmed to be having some sort of cameo in the game. So you will have authentic Mario in the game, in the film at some point. So don't stress.
My worry with it is I'll watch it and I'll be like, that was an incredible film. I just wish Chris Pratt wasn't Mario.
My literal only concern is Chris Pratt. Unfortunately, he's the voice actor for the title role.
And so my concern is now that because of all this bad negativity, people are going to be going into the film
with a negative attitude,
with a negative impact straight away, and
they'll say it's a shit film, not that just Chris Pratt was shit.
I feel like it could be a sleeper on the basis of everyone's going in assuming it's going to be awful because Chris Pratt's Mario.
Could be,
and it might actually be surprisingly good.
Until they give me a trailer where Chris Pratt like has more than a one line of dialogue, and I can actually hear what his voice is going to be like.
Give us a conversation.
I'm too on the fence about it.
I think it would be so jokes is if in the next trailer they have him do a horrific accent.
It's a
just straight American, and everyone's like, "This is going to be terrible." And then you watch the film, and it's like this perfect Italian accent.
I just think for a Mario adaptation, I think it's going to be what every Mario fan is going to want it to be.
just not people. Yeah, people will just get more angry about who's Mario rather than the content
the
of
film
it.
itself. Yeah.
No, I get that.
So I have 3 sleeper picks.
Oh, here we go. Greedy.
It's not sleeper if everything is a sleeper.
You've seen the size of this list.
I know. I'm just messing.
So my biggest, I've got 2 really big ones. The third one you guys might argue isn't a sleeper pick. So first and foremost, X-Men 97. It is a continuation of the X-Men cartoon. I've got a feeling it is going to be better than the original, and as a result of that, is a sleeper pick for me. No one's really talking about it. It's going to be that thing a lot of people pick up when they've got nothing else to do, and they're going to go, "This is great," and it won't be for 3 or 4 years. It truly gets recognised for how great it is. Visions, Star Wars Visions, right up there for me. Animated stuff, as a general rule, gets overlooked. So I always think they're more likely to be sleepers because not enough people give them the credit they deserve in the first place. And Visions season 1 was just so good that hopefully they give the anime studios they work with even more creative freedom. And now third, I get if it's not accepted as a sleeper. I put Invincible season 2.
Oh no, I don't know enough about it to know.
So Invincible season 1 was wildly successful.
It was great.
But at the same time, I don't think it's hit full mainstream.
I agree.
And that's why I'm putting it down as a sleeper, because I think this season...
With that logic, it makes sense to be a sleeper.
Yeah, and I think this season is going to jettison it to, like, the cover boy of superhero entertainment, which is why I've put it as a sleeper. Overall, I don't think it's necessarily a sleeper in the same way Visions and X-Men is, but I think it's going to elevate itself to a whole new level and beat the expectations of itself.
Yeah, no, I can understand.
Based on that logic, I agree.
So that brings to the end our 2023 discussion. There's actually nothing left in the notes. What I forgot to kind of put in there was just general chit chat about the year, where we get to just be boys being boys, not in a weird
boys, lads.
Yeah, not in a weird gonna get mentioned in court way, but rather like
so not like the usual Discord calls.
Yeah. Because I think this year's been a big year for all of us in different ways. Obviously, we started a podcast, I guess, technically in 2021, but the first episode wasn't until January this year. Myself, Josh, and Hori have all streamed for, I'd say, more of the year than not.
Yeah, I'd say I did at least a good 6 months of regular content.
Luke has been farmed for content by all 3 of us at different points.
Yep.
I'd say, other than one very unfortunate incident for myself, this has been one of the best years I've had. In no small part due to the people here with us right now. So I guess it's kind of a thank you to all of you, because it's been a hell of a year, and we're doubling up or more next year.
Yeah, I mean, when we started this podcast, I was but the Discord admin for KCP, and 1 year on, I am now creative director for KCP. So
creative director, back it up.
Big boy thing.
So, I mean, a lot's changed in that sense for me. And although content died off, personal wise, I mean, the podcasts, I think for what we've done with the podcast in 1 year has been like great and amazing things, and it's only going to get bigger next year. So
a year ago, I was literally in a different bedroom. I was doing all of this via my phone, with recording audio only and editing the shorts on an app I downloaded on my phone.
Oh god, yeah, you were doing this like so scuffed.
It was
for the first like month
thing that has ever been done. Because when we started, I was literally just getting ready to start a new job after being out of a job for a year due to the pandemic. And I've been in that job a year. I've been able to build a setup that is so good. It does everything we need. We have streamlined the process so much.
I have one
uploading. Go on.
I have one downside that's come from your year. We saw your big toe.
You did see my big toe.
Right, so for context, everybody, we was in a Discord call assisting Con in building his new PC that you can see on. Well, you might not be able to see it.
You can see a bit of a glow.
And he aimed the camera downwards to show us some sort of was it some sort of cable or
think
something?
It was actually you guys were asking me to look at something, so I just moved the phone
Yeah,
out my way so I could
and
see.
protruding through a grey sock was a big toe, and it was not a pleasant sight.
Everyone has comfy socks they wear that have a couple of holes in them.
They don't.
No.
Yes, they do.
I can
No.
assure you they don't.
Thank you, Luke, for acting.
I
like
only
I'm
wear
not
them around the
someone
house,
else.
and I make sure not to wear them if I'm on a video call.
To be fair, I wasn't planning on being on a video call.
Well, should always plan.
But yeah, this year's been great. We've got videos that go up every day on this channel. We've got 6 shorts a day. The views are only going up. It's been great. And I look forward to more in a year. Me and Hori have always said we're very bad at staying consistent with stuff.
Yeah, this is the most consistent I've been with anything.
But we also said when we first discussed this that while we both have individual content we want to do, if we can make sure that we're both doing this every week, it means we're always making some kind of content so that when we then want to do our own content again, if we drop it for a little while, it's easier to get back into the swing of that.
No, yeah. I agree. I'll speak on behalf of myself, Hori, and Con here. Obviously, me and Con, Hori's been doing it for a while, to my knowledge, but me and Con entered content creation this year, streaming, uploading YouTube videos, TikToks, etc. And it hit a plateau where I don't know if everyone else was in the same situation as me. I was stressed myself out so much trying to make sure I had a certain amount of videos each day that I just got burnt out and I couldn't keep up, and then I stopped uploading back in like September. And then but 2023 I've said be streaming a lot more, playing more games with these guys, milking Luke for more Valorant content most likely.
Yep.
And just trying to not worry about quantity, and just when you hit a clip, get it uploaded, not worry about forcing yourself to hit all these clips. Yeah. Just have fun with the boys really in 2023.
I mean, like you said, I've done streaming and content in different forms on and off for like 6 years now.
Yeah,
and it's like
back when the rest of us was just children.
Yeah, back when Twitch was actually a good platform.
I'd like to point out that Hori started content when I was doing my GCSEs.
Probably did.
No, you were.
I probably did. But like a similar thing. It was like, honestly, is when I went to London for the Rocket League back in the summer
and met someone.
Well, no, that was later. That's way later.
No, when you met Josh at the Rocket League in London.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about your personal life, mate. I was talking about me. I was being selfish, all right?
Absolutely not, Harry.
But I turned 27, so I got too old and I completely forgot about content. But no, it was a similar thing. Like I got backlogged on like VODs and worrying about clips from them, and had all these and then it's like a week goes by and you're like, oh, now I've got even more of that, and it gets too much, and you're just like, oh, fuck it. So yeah, it's definitely need to try and go into next year with a much more relaxed attitude on it, and try and do content again.
Yeah, I think my hope for this channel by this time next year is to, although we don't do this for money, is to
Kevin's number.
is to have unlocked monetization on the YouTube platform. Not necessarily because that will make us money, but because of the other things that can allow you to do.
But it'll help fund Connor's comic book addiction.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to show you. This is awesome.
Here we go.
This is all his comics he got for Christmas, I bet.
He's such a nerd.
He is. Oh my god, what a stack.
I haven't even finished the books I bought.
I got given for Christmas.
That is a stack and a half.
When did we meet up in? Did we meet up in London this year at some point when we went into?
Yeah.
You know the books I bought in that when we went down there. I haven't even finished those.
There is a link down below for Forbidden Planet if anyone wants to use that. But they were from a website that we do not have affiliate link from, so I'm not going to name. That do mystery boxes in blocks of 20 that are like themed. So you can get like Golden Age for Marvel and DC, or Modern for Marvel and DC, I think you can also get completely random, and it just puts 20 in there and ships them out to you for like 15 quid, I think it was. So for Christmas, I got 2 boxes of them, which is very exciting. There's some really, really cool ones in there. Oh, mate, there's like a pile up here that are unread. There's about 15 up there that are unread, and I've been given 40 more. I'm so chalked. I'm just going to have to disappear for a day and catch up.
Jeez. I mean, in content that isn't necessarily what we usually talk about on the podcast, shout out to Chainsaw Man, which is an anime that
I've seen a lot about this. I haven't watched it though.
Season 1 just finished, and it was really good. And I'm also have watched Jujutsu Kaisen this year, and have started getting into anime. So I'm going down a rabbit hole now. That is going to be
Hunter, mate.
Hunter's on there. I've watched season 1 of Attack on Titan, so I've got more of that to finish. There's a couple more my mate gave me as recommendations. So this is going to be a rabbit hole now.
Have you got a Crunchyroll subscription yet?
I have. that's why I've started watching stuff. Because I'd started watching Initial D was the first one I started on because I'm into my cars. And I was watching it through like usual find a website to watch it. And it was doing my head in trying to find the next episode and stuff. So I noticed Crunchyroll had it. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll finish it off on Crunchyroll. And then started watching other things.
Crunchyroll expensive?
It's like £5 a month, if that.
That's dangerously cheap for the amount.
Yeah, it's like your standard subscription fee for.
But the amount of content animes pump out, that's really cheap.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, have you got Netflix?
I do have Netflix. I have all the things.
Demon Slayer's on Netflix.
Yeah, there's on Netflix still,
a couple of us. Like, I want to watch Akira again. I've not watched that in years. That's on Netflix. I have.
Like the good
ago.
Avatar, not the blue people, the good Avatar,
and not the film. No, I haven't watched it for years, and I don't think I ever like fully finished it.
Have you watched One Punch Man yet, Horry?
No.
Watch that.
You've got a list, all right? Like, let me get through The Boys first before.
Mate,
you can't be adding to your list when I've still got plenty to watch.
Just to
keep you busy.
Further add to stuff you don't really cover. On Netflix the other day, I found a little limited series called Treason, which was actually quite fun. It's a little like MI6 limited series things, where it's got Olga Kurylenko and Charlie Cox in it. It's quite good.
Oh, anything with Charlie Cox in is good.
This is.
That's why I watched it. I saw Charlie Cox, and I was like, well, I'm obviously watching it then.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of trivia here and see if anyone gets it. I'll give you one name. Charlie Cox. Do you know who 2 of his roommates were when they were all failing and young actors? The 3 of them shared a 1-bedroom apartment for a number of years.
I know
Keanu Reeves.
No.
I know one. I don't know the other.
Go on.
Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the other one.
Oh wait, no, I've heard this. I haven't.
Do you know who the third is?
It's gonna be some big name.
I don't think who it is.
Robert Pattinson.
Oh, Cedric Diggory, no way.
the three of them shared an apartment in downtown Hollywood.
Daredevil, Cedric Diggory, and the best Spider-Man that shared a room. That's wild.
And they were all really good friends, but because they all look quite similar, like generally, they were all being put up for the same roles and all competing against each other for every single role. That is a documentary that needs to be made. Not a documentary, a biopic that needs to be made.
I will say about the treason thing with Charlie Cox in, it was really weird to me watching him play a character that can see.
You know how many roles he lost out on because he was struggling to stop looking through people?
Probably a lot.
Yeah, he said in between season 2 and 3 of Daredevil, he lost out on so much work because when he was in auditions, he'd just glaze over and look through people, and they'd be like, hello.
We need emotion.
Yeah. But I think that wraps it up from us for the year, for 2022. Put a gold sticker by this one.
I bought far too much Lego.
We managed to pass 250 subscribers this year.
Mm-hmm.
We've had our first actual video past 1,000 views and 1,500 views in the last couple of days.
Henry Cavill's the goat.
Henry Cavill is indeed the GOAT. If he's got an open invite to be on this podcast whenever
A
the fuck he
handsome
wants.
devil.
The thing is, he
Um,
would, because he's a massive nerd. That's the
Yeah.
great thing about it.
He'd be all in. He'd be like, "You're just not allowed to ask me about Superman or Warhammer, anything else that that's
Witcher.
I'm asking about Warhammer. I don't like. He has no choice.
But it's been a great year. So thank
it
you
has.
to Hori for coming on this journey with me.
Thank you to you as well, Connor.
Thank you to Josh and Luke for their numerous guest appearances over the year.
My pleasure.
I was the first one, just saying.
It's a weird flex.
Yeah, weird
Such a
flex.
weird flex.
And thank you to you guys for coming along at all. We appreciate it a lot. It's been a hell of a ride, and there'll be more of it next year.
There will indeed.
But do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If we remember, Josh's Twitch link will be in the description.
Thank you very much.
We'll put Luke's Twitter in the description if we remember.
Yeah, I'll remember Luke, not John.
Whoa, if you remember.
There, as I said earlier, Forbidden Planet link is also down there if you want to go buy a comic book, because I make them look so cool. That shelf is bending a lot. I should probably
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the new year.
We'll see you in the new year.
Catch you later.
See you later.